Alright, we're going to take a look at the walkthrough demo for what's new SolidWorks 2011. There are a few little glitches that I'm experiencing in the current build of beta. Hopefully these will be resolved, and hopefully by updating the files I've gotten rid of them. We're going to be working with a plant data set that's found on the VRC. It's a very much lighter cut down version of this. I am going to open it lightweight, but I do want to point out a current bug that has created some limitations, and that happens to be with the main ground object and the base of this building right here. If you open everything up lightweight, it'll open really quick. There's no routes inside of this assembly. Real view is turned on. You'll notice that as I go ahead and I try to add my walkthrough, when I select these faces here, SolidWorks won't select any faces of lightweight components. So what you need to do is you need to grab this component and this component right there, and you want to go ahead and you want to set these to you want to set that to resolve. So maybe it's worth your time to open the whole assembly resolved instead of lightweight, so that you don't have to deal with that. Just something to be aware of. So as you go into the demonstration, there is one other thing to point out. I have some sketches down here. One of them is actually turned on, but it's not visible. I have my View Sketches toggle set to a hotkey. You can set it to a hotkey yourself, or you can use the drop down here to toggle it on or off. That's going to be valuable as well. The other thing to point out is when you talk about walkthrough and the benefit of it, it's great for large scale designs, but let's not forget smaller scale designs as well. Sometimes you want to view the inside of a design, and this really allows you to go inside and look around at the internal components of even small scale designs. So let's go ahead and do it. You're going to go to View, Lights and Cameras, Add Walkthrough. By default, SolidWorks will select the top plane and set your orientation normal to it. It'll also set a default avatar height. If you want to, for instance, choose your own height, you could enter that in there if you wanted to as well. The next thing we need to do is we need to capture some motion constraints. And this is why we needed to resolve that the ground and the base of the building right here. They're not currently selectable. Now they are. So I like to grab the asphalt on the outside of the building, the inside floor of the building, and then with my Show Sketches hotkey, I'm going to grab this sketch here as well. Now you'll notice that the sketch that's visible is one continuous spline. It makes it much easier for selecting an entire path instead of going into my Feature Manager tree and having to select a sketch to get all the entities. I'm going to turn off my hotkey to hide that, just so that I don't view it when I go into this. And then finally you simply say Capture Walkthrough right here. Now as you do this, you'll notice that SolidWorks immediately puts you in a view looking at your facility, and it's a camera view that you can set up. You can see that I can kind of look around right here, but the real beauty here is we're going to go ahead and lock it down to that first face that we set right there. And what's nice is you can see I can walk around, and you can use your scroll button on the middle of your mouse to move forward. You can also use these arrows right here, but you can see that they're not nearly as fast as the scroll button on your mouse. It's much easier, I think, to walk around with a scroll wheel. Now one of the things that's really interesting to point out is you'll notice there's kind of a curb here. As I move forward, my avatar actually is stopped by that curb. So there's a collision detection that's taking place right there. That's really neat and unique to point out. So you can walk around through your design, and you can look at anything that you want to in here, but let's look at some of these other constraints. You could go to the face on the inside of the building if you wanted to. It's located level to that, but the one I like to show is the spline. When you're on the spline, you'll notice that all I have to do is just spin my scroll wheel, and it'll actually follow that spline as I go through there. So as it comes up to that corner, this is a great way to quickly go around and look at your facility. At any time, if you want to, you can record this walkthrough by simply hitting the record button, and it'll remember which portion of your walkthrough that you wanted to go on. So we'll remember that right there. Let's go ahead and hit OK to that, and you could always play that back. You could also generate a video based off of that if you wanted to, using the rendering inside of the software. So we'll go ahead, we'll hit cancel there. I do want to go back into Capture Walkthrough and point out one more thing. We'll go back on that spline, and we're going to back up just a little bit right here. and you'll see that there's a little lock button right here. You can actually unlock this, and then if you want, you can actually go up into your design. You're able to freely roam around in your designs if you want to. You can also use your arrow keys if you want to move forward using that, so you can use a combination of your arrow keys and your mouse keys if you really want to look around. I would try to avoid looking at certain things like that. There are some graphical elements right here that seem to go wireframe on me, so just be cautious of this. This is a great tool though to look around at your design. And then if you did render this using the new PhotoView 360 rendering inside of here, you could actually save this like we mentioned and do a full rendering of it. There's really no right or wrong way to do this demo. It's kind of a fun demo in that you're able to walk around anywhere that you want. We'll go ahead and close that, and that's pretty much the demonstration.